Right, so setup-wise, as I said, just a small little tweak with the grip. I think on both these are the same thing. We don't want to sort of see that top part of the grip there. So your left hand could come around just a hair. If you find you're wearing the grip out and that sort of pad of your left hand, it means your grip is sitting too much up there and just wobbling around. The problem as well, if you feel that club, to make that fabric go here, you've had the grip moving, you're going to feel that. And if you feel that movement, you're going to do what? Grip it tighter, aren't you? So if you're gripping it tighter, controlling that club face now is going to be a lot more difficult. So we've got to try and make sure we're gripping it in a position where our hands are on the club looser to control the club. And it might be that you have to sort of just get used to holding the club up here, because now it'll be a lot easier to sit it in the fingers there as opposed to being on this angle down on the ground.
Instead of feeling the pressure there.
It's a bit more like you would, like say, when you're holding your golf bag in the hand or briefcase or carry bag, whatever, okay?
So a bit more.
Just a bit more kind of connection with those two hands there, okay? So that's the sort of setup there. Otherwise, it was good. Just one last thing we said against the wall, that make sure your feet just flare out a little bit. I guess obviously from like military, it's all very like square and symmetrical and on parade kind of thing, I guess. But in terms of this swing, this is kind of your old swing, okay? As you went back here now, there's a bit more kind of twisting with the hips. You've lost the angle here now. Because I think you knew the club face was open, your angles have already kind of been lost now. And you've seen all the tour players, the club's sort of somewhere in this orientation, So when you come back into impact here now, there's your impact, and there's your hands behind the golf ball, And that's the move you're not going to try and get, okay? What you've got to try and do, and what we really want to see at the moment now, is your hands to be sort of just at least between your legs. They're not going to be on your left side yet, because you still haven't hit a massive load of hook shots, so the club face is still a hair open, and you're still having to adjust it. But for me, I'd rather do like 5% and 2% or 1% improvement daily, rather than like do 100% in one go. It's like, whoa, it feels too much in one go, okay? So as you're at the top of the backswing, once you're up and out, the left wrist now is good anyway. As you're starting down, you've got to feel that this has basically got to move towards that edge of the mirror. That's the visual. Obviously, there's not be a mirror there, but it's going to be a little bit of left hip movement there. You're pushing towards the wall there. So you get that left hip now, or the left leg, should I say, straighter up, okay? You've still got a little bit of angle here coming in, and it will lose a little bit more than you want to initially. But as you come into impact there, your hands are just right at the right thigh. I would say at this position here now, those hands have moved over a little bit. The arms are starting to get more in front of your chest. There's not daylight between your right arm and the side of your body, okay? So your arm moves them over. So if you've gone from there to here to there, in time you'll get the hands moving slightly forward. But they're only able to do that if the ball is drawing a bit too much, And they'll only draw too much if your grip is better and you're able to keep that left wrist in the flat position. If it starts coming on the way down and starts what we call cupping or flexing into this sort of cupped position, so therefore it opens, you have to do something at impact, and you're good at doing that. You end up just scooping and flicking the hands. Problem is, as a result of that, it gives you an impact position you don't like the look of, and the result of some slightly thin shots as the clubs get longer is not quite as good a contact, okay? So in terms of the movement, say at the top of the backswing, you've got to start moving the hips more laterally there, so bumping them towards target, getting that left foot over that left hip there.
When I'm up on there, am I still sort of throwing the club a bit?
There's a little bit there you can see slightly, okay? So I would say that left hip moves first. I think this is you just pulling the chain, as you said at the start of the session. I'm watching Garcia just pull the chain down, yank it, okay? The problem with Garcia is, for him that would probably work, because he lays the club off almost too much and his hips slide too much. So for him feeling like he pulls the club down, actually gets the club back in front of him, which stops his kind of like duck hook. But you're not duck hooking it. So you've got to look at, have you ever seen Alex Noren doing his training on the range?
No.
I'll show you a pic in a second, but he looks as though he's like strangling a blooming cat. But his swing fault is the fact he does too much underneath and scoopy, so he's doing a drill to go the against complete opposite of that. Whereas Justin Rose does a drill that's basically the club's way behind him, because his fault is the club gets too far in front. So depends on what your fault is. If you've got a bad left knee, don't put bands on your right shoulder. Effectively. So
what feeling would you, instead of obviously you want your hands leading, don't you?
I think that from there, just that your arms just fall down. If they fall down, almost like the weight of the club will kind of mean, if when you're trying to pull them, pulling, I think, is kind of creating that, letting them fall down, and almost, I think some people sort of feel that kind of revving of the engine as they sort of get the top in. I almost feel this movement rather than that cupping with the wrist, okay?
Pulling, let it drop.
Fall and drop.
Grant says that, I like Grant Hobra, I think. He's saying it, and he says, let gravity do the motion. And,
it's on your side. The thing is, in the golf swing is, your hip rotation on the way back is something you are able to not do as in a golf club, but it'll be a bad shot. And hip rotation this way, okay, is something that's guaranteed to happen. But so many guys sort of try and pull and twist. Well, you've got to start thinking about the things that you need to do that could in some ways not happen. We could not twist our hips, which in this case you're not doing, but we could also not slide this way. Those are things you've got to focus on, The rotation, those stuff, they're going to happen, So if you rotate on the way back and then slide on the way down here a bit more, get that left hip moving towards the edge of the wall there, you'll start realising that you can keep the angle. That your unhinging of the wrist is just your way of fixing the golf ball going to the right. If the grip is stronger and the club is stronger and you start doing too much of this, the ball will just start hooking left, and then you go, hang on a second, I don't want to hook it left. It will then make sense for you to start getting the club in front. Shaft lean for me comes around the body moves and seeing hook shots. If you're blocking it or cutting it, don't stop flicking it, because that's actually helping you to some extent. Putting the hands further forward and shouting the club, the ball goes further right. So it's got to be the right fix for the right fault. So move the hips better. Up here, get them moving towards target, okay? So you get your hands at the moment now, probably like middle part of the body from impact. I mean, you're not far. I mean, that's literally just after impact. You're not in a bad position there, If the club could be just back here now rather than there, but that in terms of space of time is like it's a nanosecond. So you're not miles out. Okay, makes sense.
All of it makes so much sense.
Good, very good, mate.